production order.
As a customer, you may never be more vulnerable to a sales pitch than when arranging a funeral. When Randy and Monique were arranging one for his ailing mother, they felt railroaded into buying expensive options that they never wanted.
Did you feel like you had an option?
No, absolutely not.
It was suggested to us that it was something that had to be done.
Things like embalming.
Yes.
The embalming, the purchase of a casket.
You had to go with this package. This was the minimum package that you could have. That was the biggest issue, was the embalming and a viewing of my mother, who was very private, and it would have been awful. It would have made me sick.
Complaints like that prompted our original investigation into funeral sales, one that led to a regulatory crackdown in Ontario.
Did take action right away.
So we've gone back inside 5 homes, all run by Arbor, the largest Canadian-owned funeral chain.
Does that seem like something that would be appropriate?
Once again, our undercover team was steered towards more expensive caskets.
I always say to families, your aunt or your mom or dad lose a lot of dignity when they're going through a sickness or an illness. Least you can do is give them some of that dignity back.
That in itself isn't against the law. It's perhaps distasteful. People would find that distasteful.
Kerry Smith is the funeral regulator in Ontario.
I don't like people preying on people's vulnerabilities.
And he really didn't like what came next.
Our starting point is around $18.95.
Our undercover team is asking about a cheaper casket, and the new rules say the home is obliged to sell it. But the salesperson digs in.
So we can't use it?
Not for visitation, like not for your funeral.
She's wrong.
She's wrong.
Yes.
You've forbidden that. You've been clear.
Yeah, you can't do that. If they want to use that as a service, they have to use it as a service.
And if you're confronted by something like that, what do you do?
Oh, we'll be taking action on that one, for sure.
And he did. In response to our questions, the funeral chain said they've made significant enhancements to their training programs and that 90% of the families they serve are very satisfied.
And David Coleman joins us now. I suspect some people listening to this will say, you know, when you're trying to plan a funeral, you're not exactly thinking like a savvy consumer. So any tips you can offer them?
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, big one, bring a friend, bring someone who's not as emotionally vulnerable as you. Think about it as any other big purchase. Would you go and buy a car when you're emotionally vulnerable like that? No, you wouldn't. Also, know what you want and know what you don't want and be very clear when you're in there booking it all.
What did you take away? What's the one thing you took away the most from this?
Know that the people on the other side of the desk when you are arranging it are quite likely on commission. So if you want the gold-plated coffin, go ahead, have it. But if you don't want it, don't get talked into it because they may be making more money by selling you it.
Okay, David Coleman, thanks very much.
Thank you.